All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Here we are, last trading day of the year. So it's not just 12/28 here, December 30th here. So we're going to wrap up the year with a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum here. I will tell you this is likely the last what I would call dedicated Bitcoin or crypto Friday. Simply because we're going to just mix in a little more variety. So it will not be just exclusively a Bitcoin on Friday or even crypto on Friday. So you'll see us start to introduce, certainly some option trading, some things in the equity market, some things that we have not done here. And we're not abandoning crypto. It's just my view is crypto could stay somewhat dormant for some time. Now, of course, I'd love to be wrong, but my hunch is that through the last, what we call it, 2 months, 6 weeks. It's a sentiment issue. So as I've tweeted a few things and made some comments here amongst members, nothing happening with the technology, but human beings have a way of creating their own problems for themselves. So I think that's just, and we've done some, this is, I guess, for the most part, I'm speaking to YouTube subs. You're going to see a lot more on option trading. That's my background. I spent 10 years as an option broker. So that's an area that we're going to go to. We polled the members, and I looked at a couple of different ways we might go, and that was the overwhelming winner, that they wanted more information on how to trade options. Primarily it'll be equity options. We may do some futures options as well, but those tend to be more costly. So we're going to stay focused on, there'll be some SPY and some QQQ and the IWM. There'll be some of that in there, but a lot of option trading you can start to look for from us in addition to crypto as the opportunities present themselves. Now, I'm going to keep it relatively simple here because with the low volume, the holiday week, just the malaise in crypto here, I think we're better to stay big picture here. My team has put together some amazingly good, just spectacular Elliott work on the micro counts in here, but if you really want to get into that, probably good suggestion to join us as a member, whether educational or social. But for what I'm going to offer here, I think we're better to stay big picture. And so here, this is a 3-day. And this has been my primary count for some time now. And of course, I've changed it. We're well over a year into this correction. So it's changed as the market has drifted lower. That's not uncommon or unusual for an Elliott Wave trader to adapt to what the market is offering. Right now, this still looks like we've got this nice, almost like it's a crescendo target down here. Let's, for round numbers, call it 14 and change, on the idea that we've got an A, a B, an obvious extension in the 1, and that as we contract here, this ending diag here is offering, some geometry, some structural support. If this is a completed one, if it's a completed one, this would be 50%, right? So this would be our most common location for a wave 2. The RSI down below. Let's get here. Of course, I'm just doing this first count on motive wave here. Okay, so you'd anticipate a rollover one more time. Are we going to get down to this low? Remains to be seen, but potentially you'd have a little divergence there. Potentially, we don't have it yet, so divergence is tricky, right? It can come and go. So, but this right down here, this right in with this structure, the count, all kind of tease that up. Now, that doesn't mean that's where we bounce, but that's an area of interest. Let's say it that way. So, if we come into this location, I don't know that I'd suggest for everyone to be sitting there with a limit order, but if we start to get some support there, now here just using, I'm out to just kind of looking at the structure here. We'd be in February, March, the first quarter of 23 is where we might look for a pivot to start working from. We got to kind of wash off all the mud of FTX, for lack of a better way to describe it. But I think that's a story that will have additional ramifications. I don't know that anyone feels like all of the shoes have dropped there, but they may have. So we'll see. But as a crypto trader, crypto holder, crypto enthusiast, you gotta you got to deal with what the market is offering right now. Crypto, it's going to be tough, I think, for a while. So, I mean, as a technician, I mean, ultimately, do we care? Wait, I mean, chart's a chart, right? If crypto is going to be dormant for a while, and I don't, again, that's just a guesstimate. If we're going to stay dormant for a while, why do we? I mean, again, a chart's a chart, right? So if the opportunity is going to be in other locations, other asset classes, why do we care, right? I mean, we're not crypto just blindly crypto. I mean, crypto's interesting, right? When crypto's moving, when crypto's not moving, okay, let's go where something is moving. So with that said, I look for more variety in these updates here, and I think we'll get a little more frequency than just once a week. So anyway, okay, all right. So that's so here as we sit. My suggestion is to not do anything until we get down here, and the potential here for this count to complete down here. Then I'd start nibbling myself, but I'd want to see that 5 finish. I'd like to see this tested. I'd like to see the RSI offer me potentially a little divergence. So until then, I wouldn't be shorting per se, but I'd be at this distance here, all the way down here. I'm looking for buys, not sells. Now, of course, right, I've been wildly wrong, right? So for the people that were selling on the way down, congratulations, you've had an excellent year. All right, rest of us, we're accumulating. I think, as I've said a couple of times, my last buy was in the low 20s. I wouldn't be uncomfortable buying again down here if we get the opportunity in this 14 range. I mean, we could go to the golden zone, right? It's 10K. It's got to be money you're not going to need for the near term, right? That's the trade-off. I would certainly not be using leverage, but if you go in here with spot and you can park it there for a while, you may be getting an awfully good entry. Remains to be seen. Okay, so here now, let's see. I'm over. Let's see, I've got this a couple of places. This is over on BitGet on a 2-hour, my trading chart, right? Because we know, right, you all know, right? They sponsor our channel here, so I'm always going to show in BitGet. But I'm going to go just to pull out for the trading chart, and here I'm going to come back to this in a second. I've got this over here. This is on Bitstamp here, just because I had this. Just a reminder, right, that what moves the market. I know, right? A lot of people tell me, oh, you don't know shit about trading crypto. Really? Well, I don't think the issue is crypto. I mean, they all move the same way. This is the dominant algorithm. This is, again, as I've said hundreds of times, this is not why the market moves, just how it moves. I don't know how anyone would dispute this, right? When I've got just pretty hard evidence here as we come down. Oh yeah, but that's not, crypto has nothing to do with that, right? We got to use other stuff. We got to use on-chain metrics, and we got to use other. Get out of there. We got to use other stuff. Do we? Well, I have not been taking advantage of these shorts because I'm aggressively long of Bitcoin. But for the shorter term swing trader, boy, this has been awfully technical on the way down. Well, just not something that I do on a regular basis is look to kind of short-term swing trade in Bitcoin because I'm kind of a long-term bull, so I'm looking for opportunities to be a buyer. It's been a painful year, right? From 69, right, celebrating, all the way down to 15, 16. That's a lot of drawdown, but I remain unshaken in my long-term view of Bitcoin. So if we get to 14, I'm going to buy some more. Okay, that's just me. That's not financial advice. That's just my view of the long-term potential. I don't see that changing, despite human error, human greed, malpractice, call it what you will, right? Fraud, Ponzi scheme. Some heavy things I think are headed towards Mr. Bankman-Fried. I don't think he's going to be happy with the net result when all is said and done. Now, so we will see, right, to go from a billionaire to something else. Okay, so just here, so you see we've got this could be a front run here. We've got some unfilled targets here. So this kind of lines up rather nicely, these algo targets here with our longer term count over here coming in at 14K. It seems to kind of fit in rather nicely. Here's 14 at the lower algo target. Now this is to this one, the very last one here. You can always just look down here. So this swing golden zone. Looking for that. This one, it's probably a front run. That's the reaction from it. So this higher one here, right, likely has already been realized. And got this one coming down here, 13.9, right? You see how they kind of tee themselves up. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I took off the wrong one. Right there. Did I? Oh, shit. Did I? I think I did. Oh, here. Let's just get it back here. We get over this, and then here's the last one I meant to draw. We got this right here. So here's the 50 coming down here, and you see where's that tee up? 14.176. Swing, retrace to the 50. So the Elliott count suggests that so if this is we're coming down into the 1, 2, here's the 3, here's the 4. Now we're looking for an A, B, C to come in for the 5 right there. Now, is that what we get? Well, yeah. I mean, certainly we have a path here, but you'll note in here this is looking for a kick in the B wave here to come back towards that. So we can complete in a series of 3. Now, do we get that? This is a daily. Let's go to a 4-hour. Gets a little tricky in here. I got a clear, well, I think you could make a pretty strong case for an impulse here for the prospects of an A. Now, this is where we get into, this is just, is there a count there? Well, you know, I've got some really skilled guys on my team who sent me some charts. At this point in time, I don't fucking, well, you know, what is this? This is just flatlining. This is just holidays, lack of it, you know, malaise in crypto. Is there a count there? Probably. I'm not really worried about it. What I'm really looking for is that I'm kind of looking for this. I want another kick up here so I can lean into that B a little bit more. Well, here's what I definitely do not want to do. Compromise and go, well, okay, well, I guess it's just a skinny B, right? So then I lose the conviction that comes with, okay, give me a kick here, something into the new year. Oh, even if it's just a bull trap, fine. Okay, but then at least I can get my arms around, okay, I see it. Already, I mean, look what we're doing down here. We're doing an A, then I got to do an A triangle B into an expanded B to get this impulse to fly here, to get this impulse to fit. So how does it work? Well, yeah, you can get this to work. A, B, C, expand the B, just barely. Let's get right on that. Right. I got a 5 up to a C at the 50. I see, this is where, why would you assume that it's not going to get there? I mean, considering we know these things work in patterns, now, of course, things could change. But right now, based on the evidence, wouldn't this be the reasonable target? Given the back-to-back, the series of measured moves on the way down, right? You trade them till they fail. So really, we look here and you can just kind of frame it out and say, okay, well, we've been in this since November 22nd. So for the last month, it's just going sideways. You'd really like to see that this one much. I'd like to see, God damn it, come here. This, I need this, right? I got a nice order block here at the proposed wave 2 to come down here and complete the whole pattern. As a matter of fact, right, the only thing that could sweeten this anymore would be this. Here, I'll put it right in the middle, right where the order block is. So let me get this thing I just drew out of there. That is what I'm really looking for. Right, because then I can look at it and go, okay, this is, who knows, right? Sideways fuckery. So one more kick up here, and I can go, okay, I got a B. And I'll talk about in the chute, right? Well, we'd have 2 here. So this is the first one, second target. This is probably third target. As a matter of fact, let's just do that. Let's go back to my standard, right? So here we'll have third target. So that's what you're looking for. So do you see how we're kind of building up some confluence? Now, okay, right, we've done that before and been wrong. So, okay, right now, as it sits there, this 14K, right, starting with, okay, right, we started out here with a 3-day. Just looking, okay, if it gets there, now we're down to, here's a 4-hour. And it kind of fits. But what's missing? This kick. I need that. I need that to get a little more conviction in the count here. Because, so the question becomes, okay, that's all great, Sam. Well, yeah, would be nice if that worked out. But what What if it doesn't? What if we just do this? I'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But this is there's almost no good solution here. Oh, so I should note a couple of things here. So first, I meant to do this here. So to thank James M., who is on my team here for filling in for me last week when I was on holiday. With his excellent work, I think he did two videos here. I think a couple of them were public as well. So thanks to him. I think he did last Fridays. You guys will see more from him, right? He's a very, very skilled. You know, what's cool about my gig? Everyone who's worked for me, everyone, it's almost 5 years now, has all come from members. I never sought out anyone. It's just all members, right? That's expressed an interest, had the skill set, and James is a great one. He's probably our most successful trader in terms of his P&L since he joined TradeDevils. So when he's giving you some TA, pay attention, right? It's not like, oh yeah, well, someone other, right? I mean, many of these guys are better than I am. They're very good, right? So that's why I put him on the team, right? And I was very lucky that he was very, very lucky that he was willing to join us here. He's a very successful guy and has a thriving business. Yet, and is in all of his spare time, right? He does a lot of TA, and he's just very good at it. So that said, thank you to him. Now he differs with me, right? So this is often the case. Before I start these videos here, we'll do a kind of a back and forth looking for counts. Now his view here is that because this is all just sideways fuckery because of the holiday, that the 4 is here, and that we're not done with the A yet. Now that's a little more bear. We'd be heading down here, and the 3 is here. It's okay, right? It's not a bad thing that we don't all have to agree all the time, right? It's kind of what makes a market. But as I look at that, I can't quite get it to work. We lose the 2, the 2 and the 4. This 2 to this 4 get a little wonky for me, and this looks like we finish here. So to me, and this is consistent with the way I view the market. Oh shit, let's get you here. When I can, how do I want to do this? I'm in a log here. Well, I guess this will work. Right, when I want to complete something altogether, if I can. When I find myself doing this, and I'm trying to connect this to this in the same, well, I would do it, right? If I had this, okay, then maybe. Right? But for me, right, I want them when it's coming like this. Just here you're kind of stuck with it. But if I can get it done here, that becomes my primary. Now I might have to change that, but as it sits right now, that's just. I mean, that's the thing about Elliott, right? There's subjectivity into it, and you develop a style or things that you look for, and love it or hate it, right? That's just the reality of trading Elliott Wave, right? There is much subjectivity to it, and some people will tell you that, well, that's the fucking problem with Elliott Wave. It's too much subjectivity. Other people will tell you, well, the beautiful thing about Elliott Wave is you really express your own TA and your own ideas, and there's lots of subjectivity. We have rules and guidelines that steer us and affect how we view the market, but it's open to interpretation in certain areas, right? So that's, again, it's either a love or a hate. I try and find a balance between the two. So you'll notice here I've got market structure wrapped around this. I've got it's not just the Elliott count, right? It's never, the market is too complex for that to just say, well, it's just if it doesn't do a 5 and a 3. There's way more to it. So recognizing here that now as we just sit here, right, in this, what are we in, right? Demand zones. Now that doesn't mean it breaks, but you can see the reaction here. This is what I'm really wanting. As I just went through that. So I'd really like to get the if this is the A, okay, this is a little, is that what you want? No, but okay, maybe A, B, C into the B, but then this has got to come. I mean, if we get it, now it's got some obvious, first thing it's got to clear, here's this resistance, right? This demand zone, this supply zone, right at the POC. We got to clear that and get up to the next one. Well, just, keep, right? If you don't draw them, you'll trade right into them, right? So what's the first thing we hit? Now I'm pulling from the 2, right? But this is the last place that we stopped, So my point being here, don't forget to do that, right? Because it would be easy to lose track of that and think, oh, well, as long as it hasn't hit its target, and if it hits its target, well, then we don't have to worry about it so much. But while it's still active, you could easily pop and come back down, right? Until it breaks. Now, assume it does, right? Just for the sake of this conversation, right? If we break, whoa, slow down. We got to do this, right? We're not in the clear until we do that. Right, and we get a close above. Then we're looking at, right? It's just one after the next, right? It will always be there, right? So you can't just ignore it. I promise you that you'll regret it if you do that. You got to draw these. You got to know what it did last and where it is, or you'll do this. Oh, look, we're breaking out. See it happen all the time. Right? Shit, it's still right. I catch myself going, oh, holy shit! I didn't check. I was about to buy that. It's just the reality of the markets, right? No way around it. You got to adapt to it. Okay, so this remains to be seen if we get that. Until then, we can't eliminate that, right? Obviously, can't eliminate this, right? Here, 50. So this is actually doing it backwards, right? It's more common to go 50 and then golden zone. Here we go right to golden zone. Just a piece of software sitting there, right? It's not going to stay until it gets that. Or we go here, and then we're going to do it again. This is what we're hoping for. Okay, so I guess I beat that dead horse enough. Oh, okay, so I think that's about all there is to say on Bitcoin. Rather than to try and, I'm just looking at one of my really skilled members here is giving me a count on a 60-minute, but I think I'll save that for members, right? One, it's just spectacular TA, but two, I think. For the time being, right, for most that are here, that pop in here, if you're really into the TA, okay, well, come on over and join us, or just come in as a free member and take a look around. If you're not at that level, or you just come over here to say, well, what does this guy say? I think we're just range bound here and could be for some time. So all of this, this can happen, right? We're still in the range, right? We got to get out. Come down here, get to that. Well, there's our target, right? So you see here, we've got this nice confluence down here. If we can get this, well, now what's the implication is here? If this is AB, so I need a series of impulses, right? So I need this to finish, right? It could be a diag, right? And then I need this to finish. That's what we need, right? For this count to play. Now, good, bad, or indifferent, right? If the count changes, then we adapt accordingly. There will always be a count that we can adapt to. But in here, in this, does it really matter? What's the main thing we can see in here? This, right, is kind of the battle zone. All right, it's halfway in the range, right? Not surprising. Now, you got to give the advantage here to bears, because we have this, we had technically, let's see if I get right on it. We do not have let's just double check that. We do not have a close below, right? So it's just wicks, right? So potentially you still got some kick here from the algos. We're making an educated guess because we see this so often where a wick goes through and then it'll still get to target. So let's be mindful of that, but you'd get with a double break. It's just like this demand zone here. We've had wicks go through. Why is it still on the chart? Right? Because there's not been a close below it. So it's the same idea with the algos. Okay, so it gives it a little, okay, maybe. Now, where's the target? Way up here. I don't know if you can see that. Right. Oh, pardon me. I got the wrong one. This one here is right here. All right, so that's my target there. That's this one. And then we've got this one right here, right? That one's looking for this. So we shall see how we come out of there. Okay, God, I think I beat that dead horse. Right, sideways to lower seems to be where we're headed. Okay, now let me pause for a second because I'm going to bring over Ethereum. All right, so this is ETH. This is the daily on ETH. I don't know why I'm on Kraken, but here I am. So this is a little bit of, I guess we'd call this the more optimistic count. 1, 2, 3. Now we've got here A, expand the B, and we're coming down here for a WXY into the 4. So this the issue here is this would have to be 1. We're going to need to get out of here with a deep 2 and then go on here to try and look for that for this 5th up here at 10 grand, right? So So you think, okay, well, Bitcoin's going to roll over, which okay, we don't know that, but the path of least resistance continues to look lower. So if Bitcoin's going to 14, seems like this low here may get threatened here. Now I know you can't see in there very well, but I just want to give you the broader picture here. Part of this is the thinking here is that if this is 1, 2, if that's correctly identified, to go 3 and make this the 4 and then this the 5, which we're going to look at, right? That's the alternate, is that we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 4 to this 2. Okay, maybe, right? It wouldn't be where you'd go first. So thus the idea of an expanded B and then coming down here for the 4, because we're only at the 38, we're not the 50 or the golden zone here, we are in log scale. Okay, so let's go down to a 4-hour here and look at this. Can we make this thing work? Well, if, right, heavy emphasis, if that's a Y and this is 1, well, okay, WX, right, even that's a little bit of a stretch. Now, what's the thing to notice? Elliott aside, where's the retracement? Right to the golden zones, right? So again, I'm trying to emphasize this with you guys. It does not matter what the market is. Doesn't matter whether it's crypto. Doesn't matter if I'm looking at Ford Motors or Disney or the SPY or Shopify or Etsy. It doesn't matter. They all move the same way. I promise you, bring up any of those and do that. But just set your fib levels like this. You'll do it all day long. It's all you're going to see, right? It's not everywhere, right? Okay, is it here? No. Now, if I went down to, I say that, but then if I do this, right, I bet it's in there. Right, there it is, right? So I'm looking at that going, and there it is, right there, in the triangle. It's not why it moves, it's how it moves, right? Guess I've made that clear. Anyone here is probably sick and tired of me talking about it, but I'm here to try and help you. If you're not doing this, then I don't know how to help you, right? I've repeated it, good God, I don't know, 15,000 times, or it got to be. All right, so here at WXY, well, is that a front run? We said we'd have some unfilled targets down here. We got to hold this, right? This is the level we got to hold, right? Of all the rules that cannot be broken, we cannot have 2 overlapping the 1, right? I'll get squishy with all of them, but never that one. So, well, that and 3 can never be the shortest. 4, 1, 2. Ooh. I liked it here, right? And an ABC 1 didn't play out, right? So now so you look here and you go, okay, who's in control here? Obviously bears, right? Swing, retrace, right? That's an algo. Swing, retrace, that's an algo, right? So the sell side algo is in control, and that stays the case until we break this, right? When we break that, maybe we get a buy side on there, right? Maybe we can get this guy. But until then, you trade them till they fail, right? That's the harsh reality. Let me just give you a wrap up here. So this is an alternate, right? So this is, if with this getting a little squishy over here, if we're going to roll down, right, we don't know this, right? So this would be the alternate to this being the 4 that we've gone yet again, much like we had to adjust to Bitcoin. 1, 2, get you off of there. There we go. 1, 2, 1, seeking a 2. So if we're going to come in here for the idea that we might have some structural, you can see there'd be a demand zone here. If we're going to come 50 to the golden zone, well, boy, that brings us in just where you'd expect the 2, but that puts ETH down at 400. Well, I'd be interested at that price point. Now, you can look at this and say, well, wait a minute, if the ABC's in, how are we getting there? Well, right, you have to do a combination, right? So this would be W. Maybe there's another leg up here for an X. Could we be done here? Yeah, sure, right? I mean, nothing says we couldn't, right? So the idea being, couldn't it be 3, 4, and off we go? Well, it just as well it could be 1, 2, right? Now, that's more bullish because the implication is the next leg is a ripper, right? We're looking for a 3. But again, if the analysis on Bitcoin is we're likely heading lower, you can see here we just stalled, right? And we're stalling right here at prior resistance. If we're going to roll over one more time to eliminate the possibility that this is a 2, or that we've gone 1, 2, right? And this is a 4. If we're coming down, Well, you know, your first thought is, well, we're going to go to a combo, right? So W. Now, we don't have, is this the X? Are we doing it that way? That's not the high probability location for the X, right? You'd anticipate the X to, let's do it this way. Oh, let's do the X to the W, right? The high probability location would be up here at the 618 all the way to the 100. I'll bring that down because I don't think we're going to get that. But up here, 2590, that's what you'd be looking for to get a better X. But then this starts to all look like you're coming lower, coming down towards the golden zone to get a more traditional wave 2. Down here, 600 to 400, right? So remains to be seen whether we get that kick up here for the X. It's possible we have it here. It'd be shallow. We're not quite to the 50, but it's possible. That's where you'd be expecting it. I'd put you out, well, just kind of looking for the symmetry here of wave relationship. That's putting you into summer of 23 before we start that kick higher. Now, a lot can happen, right? So obviously the market has slowed down here. You look and say, oh, it's the holidays, right? Volume's dried up, the whole dirt bag FTX issue. I don't think there's anything to do here, right? It's not. Let's let the new year come and let's let the trading volume pick back up. Let's see how we look. I don't think you have to worry about missing anything. If anything, what you'd be missing is the drop down here. Right? So if that looks like something you'd want to short, it's just not enough volatility. It's just dormant, right? You're probably in a squeeze already. So from that, which way does it go? My guess would be we're going to go path of least resistance, which continues to be lower. So until this series breaks and we start breaking sell-side algos, I'd be anticipating moves lower. Now, then it just becomes a question of, okay, is it WX? Is that A, B, C? Can I come down here and be spared the overlap here and then go? We'll see. We'll see. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it there. Yeah, as I said, look for lots of new content from us, right? So again, not abandoning crypto, so don't feel like, oh, fuck, right? Crypto sells off and now you bail. That's not what I'm saying. I just think there's going to be better opportunities elsewhere. So there's no reason to stubbornly hang on to say, well, I'm crypto only. I mean, I've never been crypto only, even a little bit, but that's kind of where we started. Okay, with that, I'm going to wrap up, guys. As you know, right, you can always go over to our website and you can always join us for free. Come in, try. We had a number of people join us over the weekend or over this week in the holiday, coming in for well, what do we call it? Trial, or come in as a free account, get into the white belt. Right, it's a good time when things are quiet like this to do some study, work on your TA. So that's always an option for you. You know, just come on over to TradeDevils.com and look at our site and our prices. I think you'll find it's pretty reasonable, and we give you a couple of different ways to get access. But the easiest path, always, just join for free. Come in, talk to some of the other members, right? Never take my word for it or anyone's word for it, right? Always talk to other people who've been in there, see what they say. Okay, guys, you have a good weekend. I will be back next week. Again, look for some different asset classes and some different techniques. And with that, I wish you guys a good weekend, a happy new year, and we'll catch you next week.